Why is it that when you start making too much sense, people will label you as crazy? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. I know the answer. This is my thing. I feel like, in a sense, because I've already been labeled, as being crazy, I feel like I should be able to say certain things because all they're going to do is just try to discredit me anyway. It doesn't matter. I could say something good. I could say something bad. I could be telling y'all the winning lottery numbers. But motherfuckers will be like, she crazy. Don't trust her. Don't believe her, right? That's what they do with people that have mental disorders. I find it so interesting that, again, we're all being, this is what I wanted to say. We're all being controlled. Most of us are just too blind to see it. So, at this point, I'm being honest, I do have, like some diagnosis, I do have mental health diagnosis, right? But what I feel inside my head compared to what they try to tell me is going on, like, that don't even make sense. That didn't make sense. That didn't come out right. It's like what I feel, my mind and society and the world try to tell me that it's not real. They say even though I have tendencies and symptoms, they say I don't have schizophrenia because I don't see anything or hear anything, right? That's what they say. However, if you really pay attention, you do see things that other people don't see, and you do hear things that other people don't hear, because most people, we're so blind to I don't even know why I've been sitting like that, and then I wonder why my body be hurting. Lord have mercy. Damn, what was I saying? I know I was saying, yeah, we've been so conditioned to just accept what we've been told. And anybody that speaks outside of that, they always label us, as being crazy, bipolar, schizophrenic, conspiracy theory, all these things, all these negative titles that they put on us, right? But they're only put on us when it's a convenience to them. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. Take Kanye, right? When Kanye came out, they called him a musical genius, right? He's so brilliant. He's so open-minded. He thinks outside the box. He's not afraid to go there. He says things we're afraid to, like, they praised him, right? He was the best thing ever, right? But then once he started speaking his mind, what's the first thing they said? And, I forgot to add it. Before, they knew he had mental disorders, and, they blamed it on him losing his mom and all this, whatever. But once he started speaking out, first thing they said, y'all know Kanye crazy. Look, we are so conditioned to just, I guess this is what ebb and flow is called. I'm not sure. If I'm not right, somebody correct me, but I feel like because society has conditioned us, brainwashed us, literally brainwashed us into believing whatever we see, whatever we hear. And I mean, this video probably won't be seen because most of my videos don't, especially, when you talk about things like this. But I just find it real ironic that they push what they want to push and then they suppress what they want to suppress, what they don't want people to know. And I just really find that so interesting because they tell us what they want us to know. We wouldn't know about none of this shit if they didn't tell us. Even on TikTok, everything has an algorithm. Every single thing has an algorithm. If they did not want us to know these things, we wouldn't know them. So I just think that's so crazy though. Whenever you speak outside the norm, whenever you become a free thinker, whenever you start questioning things, you always get labeled. It's crazy. They love you one minute, they hate you the next. The same people yelling Hosanna in the highest were the same ones saying crucify him, right? Look, that's how we are. We love you today, we hate you tomorrow. Like that's just where we are. And social media, all it does is rot our minds and our brains. When I tell you I struggle to sit through anything that's longer than 10 minutes, it has to be really intriguing, really interesting. And even though I'm watching it, I'm still doing other things. I'm still on my phone. I'm still, like, our minds are so, they're controlling us. And they label us and give us disorders and put us on medicine to control us, right? Because I say all the time, when I took medicine, the issues that I have, I still had them. I still had depressive episodes. I still had manic episodes. I still felt depressed. I still felt suicidal. I still had racing thoughts. Like, I still didn't trust people. I still had, like, delusions. Like, I still had all these issues. I still had ADHD. I still had all these things, even when I was taking medicine. But whenever you talk to a mental health provider, the first thing they want to do is push medicine to control you. Because for the first time in my life, I feel like I can really think. I was on mental health medicine for like 12 years, right? That's a very long time, to be suppressed. And I mean, I've always been inquisitive. I've always asked why. I've gotten into a lot of trouble because I talk too much and I say things I shouldn't say. I do things I shouldn't do. That I've always had that, but like so many of us, I grew up in one of those societies, one of those families where we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about mental illness. We pray. We go to God. We take our problems to God. Like, I grew up in one of those families. And because I didn't go along with it, because I always, look, there are some things you just know. Based on what I saw around me and how I saw other people move and act. This is even as a child. Based on how I saw, other people were treated versus me and all this or whatever, I always knew I was different, you know. And the fact that I was growing up in this family where, we don't talk about those things. So what do I do as a child? I suppress it. I keep it inside. I've always been creative. I feel like as a child, because I didn't realize it then, but I realize it as an adult now. I spent a lot of time alone as a child, and it's because people didn't want me around, and it was because I thought different. But again, I just got labeled as bad because I grew up in one of those families where we don't talk about that. We don't talk about mental health. I would never forget, I told my mom I was depressed. And she was like, oh, no, we don't talk about that. We don't use those words. And I was just like, wow. And the sad thing about that, and I mean, no shade to my mama, but the sad thing about that, when I had my first son, I dealt with postpartum depression. But because I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about mental health, depression, we didn't talk about these things. I had just had my baby. I was so happy. I was in love. That was my baby, right? I wanted to die. I was like, why do I not want to be here? Like, clearly I'm happy. I love my baby. I have a baby, right? I did not want to be here. But because I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about mental health, I kept it inside. I didn't even tell my husband at the time. I didn't tell anybody until years later. And we always talk about those generational curses. Mental illness is a generational curse. And again, because we don't talk about it, because we push it under the rug, because we don't want to acknowledge it. We think ignoring a problem makes it go away when it doesn't. Like I said, as a child, I was always creative and I always spent a lot of time alone. I used to like to write. I still like to write. Like, I have a blog. I wrote a book. Like, I've always loved writing, right? I used to write all the time, just imagining these things, right? I don't know. I was just writing about things. I in my mind, I knew the life that I was living was not the life I wanted to be living. So when I would write about my imaginary world where literally I was the center of attention, right? So I used to write about that, just creating, expressing myself as a child the best way I could. My mom used to chastise me. Why are you wasting so much paper? There was this show that used to come on. I'm showing my age. There was this show, Lois and Graham Elephant Show. Something. It was back in the day, y'all. I grew up in the 80s. Something like on Nickelodeon, like, they get dressed up, put on costumes, they do skits, they dance, and all this or whatever, right? I used to like that. I used to, if I know I'm finna watch my show, I'm gonna go put on my dress so I can perform with them, on the TV, right? My sister, she used to pick at me so bad. What are you doing? Why you put on a dress? Like, go sit down somewhere. Like, nobody, it's like I was a burden. I just got on everybody's nerve. Like, nobody was like, she's just trying to express herself. Like, nobody literally ever took up for me. Nobody ever took up for me. Never, ever, ever. And because of that, I got manipulated. Of course, I got molested. Like, I child. I do have mental disorders. I do. I accept, I agree. But a lot of what I'm dealing with is unresolved childhood trauma. Yeah. God, my head hurts so bad. And you know, that's literally the point that I'm making. I've been off medicine for almost a year now. And oh God, my hair hurt. Oh Jesus. It's like I'm starting to think for myself again. I'm starting to think for myself again, and through my walk with Christ, through my relationship with God, I am learning who I am. I am learning to love me. I'm learning about the world. I'm learning about people. I'm learning about everything. I literally am learning about everything, and it's like the more I learn, the more open my mind becomes, the more like mentally strained I am, the more physically strained I am. My body is in so much pain. Like, I literally spent 4 hours in the ER yesterday, and I think it's TMJ, but Friday night I went to Cat Williams concert. And it was so good, y'all. It was so good. It was so good. I laughed. I literally laughed for like, the show started at 8, and I think we left at like 11:30, something like that. I literally laughed for hours, right? And I had a headache already. I already had a headache. And I guess all that laughing, because I laughed. Oh my God, I laughed. I started having pain on this side of my jaw, of my face, right? And I was just like, oh my God. You know, I've had a TMJ diagnosis before, so I knew what it was. Hold on, let me grab my cup. What you doing, Andre? He want to come in here so bad. I'm sorry. I really don't. I'm not going to edit this. I really just want to post this. I wish I would have went live, but I did not know where I was going with this. But, yeah. I was having the pain over there, and like I said, I have had a TMJ diagnosis before. Normally it's on this side, but for whatever reason it's on this side. I was told that TMJ was caused from one of the mental health medicines I was taking, Geodone or Ziprasidone. And child, by the time I stopped taking any medicine, I was taking 120 milligrams. Now, granted, that was the only medicine I was taking, Geodone, but I had tried a bunch of other medicines, and I know at one time I was taking, the last time I tried to take Paxil, girl, that's all I know. Look. But anyway, so normally TMJ, I'm so glad I can come back to my train of thought. Thank you, Jesus. So the TMJ was, normally it's on this side. All of a sudden it's on this side. So all this yesterday, it was hurting. It still even hurt a little today, but all down here, like even when I chew, like TMJ got something to do with like the jaw muscles and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So all this was hurting. But y'all, when I tell you, yesterday my ear was hurting, like inside my ear. And I was like trying to self-medicate because I don't like to take medicine. You know, of course, I'm paranoid. I don't like to take medicine. But so I tried to I laid like a ice thingy, like, you know, like a heating pad or ice pad pretty much. I laid it on like this side of my face. Couldn't have been no more than 15 minutes. When I took that off, it literally felt like somebody was like stabbing me, like digging in my ear. When I tell you, it hurt so bad. In my life, I have never, ever, ever felt that. It was so scary because I was like, what is this? Right? I spent 4 hours in the ER, and I'm telling the doctor, I think it's TMJ. He was like, no. I said, I have a migraine, which I did. I had a migraine, but the migraine didn't even hurt as bad as the ear hurt. Like, the pain inside my ear, it hurt. It hurts. It hurt worse than the migraine. Like, I literally told the doctor, I said, if all I had was a migraine, I wouldn't even came to the hospital. But because the inside of my ear was hurting, he was like, what did he say? Oh, he said I had wax built up in my ear. I was like, what? It's weird. But, you know, they cleaned out my ear, and I mean, apparently I did. I don't know. But the pain literally started Friday night. So the ear buildup didn't happen Friday night, you know. So although I did have buildup in my ear, I still had TMJ, which is what I was telling him. And he was like, no, I don't think it's TMJ. And they wanted to give me some medicine, and they got to give you an IV, and I don't know what was in that IV. The shit didn't feel right. It just did not feel right. And so I told the girl to take it out. And she was like, well, we could just give you medicine. I said, yeah, just give me a pill, because this shit, no. Because they don't be telling y'all all this stuff. There is this medicine called prednisone, and they give it to you in your IV, and that shit makes your vagina burn. It lasts a good 15, 20 seconds, and it burns. They don't tell you that. The first time that happened to me, the guy told me, he said, it's going to feel like you did a workout. I said, okay. He put that stuff in that IV. I said, sir, why is my vagina burning? He was like, oh yeah, that's the prednisone. Last year I went to the ER because I had a horrible migraine. And they gave me prednisone. They gave me like a cocktail with all kind of stuff. And prednisone was in that. And of course, the same thing happened again, the little burning sensation. So, yeah, I didn't want to go through that. And then they said they had a different medicine they could have gave me instead of prednisone. I don't remember the name of it, but it literally did the same thing. So I literally said, so basically you're replacing the prednisone with this medicine because it's still going to make me burn. Look, all I know is since I've been thinking for myself, and I've always been inquisitive. I consider myself a socially awkward creative. I'm a nerd. I like things that people don't like, but I didn't make my point from earlier, but because of all the issues that I had growing up, being the way that I was, being made to feel different or less than because I didn't act like everybody else and think like everybody else, I tried to suppress it because I felt like I was treated the way that I was because I just didn't think like everybody else. But again, nobody ever said she's just trying to express herself. She's just trying to self-medicate, whatever, I don't know. I never forget, I was in 7th grade. And again, I always been a creative. I created this it was kind of like a crossword puzzle with like a word search, kind of creative type thing combined, right? And I used the girls I knew in school, right? And I literally was just asking questions. I'm in the 7th grade, right? I said, which of these girls wear glasses? Which of these girls live in, whatever little town? Like I'm just little girl questions, right? And one of the questions I asked said, which of these girls have ever worn weave, right? It was just one of the questions, just one of the many questions. Do you know, I will never forget the way them girls attacked me for that one question. Now, keep in mind, all before this, at times, they would pick times where, okay, we need a raise for this. We'll use her for this, right? So there were times where people made it seem like it was okay to be me, but then other times, like somebody want to deal with her. But it's like, I literally have dealt with that my whole life. So a pill that controls a racing thought, supposedly, depressive symptoms, self-esteem issues, we could go on and on and on. Can you see why a pill is not going to fix that? If I have anxiety because I was in a horrible car accident, which I was, giving me a pill for anxiety is not going to take away that feeling or that thought or that remembrance of that really bad car accident, right? The medicine, all it does is mask the symptoms. None of it heals. None of it cures. Mentally, I may be dealing with a lot, but I don't want to be back on medicine. I don't ever want to take mental health medicine again because I felt like it controlled what I thought. And that coupled with spiritual warfare, oh yes, I love God real bad. All that together, like there are literally times where I'm trying to figure out what's real from what's fake from make believe. Don't read too deep into that, but I'm just saying. Child. Oh God. But my point that I'm making, sat in that hospital, went through all that, got a fake diagnosis, whatever. The issues that I'm having, all these tests I do, I've done MRIs, I've done blood tests, I've done x-rays, I've done all these different tests. I did a mammogram. I do all my tests. I get HIV, I do STD, I do everything. Everything is negative. Everything is negative. But I have all these symptoms. And the crazy thing, even when on my way to the hospital, like, child, they sent an ambulance to come get me and all. It was crazy, child. But they say they didn't want me to drive because the way I felt. Now, yes, I was in pain, but I felt like I could have drove, but they didn't want me to drive, so, okay, whatever. But I literally said to them, I feel like what I'm dealing with is just stress from my mental shit, and it's just boiled over or manifested into physical symptoms. That's how I feel. That's what I think. That's literally what I feel like is going on. And I feel that way because think about what they say. Stress will kill you before anything else will, right? They kept asking me yesterday, have you ever had a stroke? Have you ever had a stroke? I was like, no. Is, one side of your face numb? Is it swollen? I'm like, no. But they literally asked me like 3 times about a stroke. And, I'm like, I don't think I'm having a stroke, But I'm trying to decrease my stress level. I'm trying so hard to decrease my frustration. I'm trying to find my peace. And I have peace in God. But y'all, my mind. And I know people like to say, things like, well, why does God allow suffering? And, where is God when you need him? And it's not that God is not there. And I can say this because I used to think this way. But it's like, you have to take something out of every situation. And out of this situation is that at least I'm aware that what I'm dealing with is stress and mental health related. Sometimes, look, God, we always look for these huge, extravagant, because that's what we read in the Bible, the burning bush, the water, all the stuff. We look for these huge signs and wonders from God, but sometimes we have to take the little small ones that he give us. And yeah, at least I'm aware of what's going on. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Now, excuse me. Now, I'm aware of what's going on, but does that make the situation even any easier? No. That's Andre. I told y'all, he got to make his presence known. that does not make the situation any easier. These headaches, these migraines that I have been getting, I get a headache down there every day. At one point, I literally every morning was waking up with either a migraine or a headache every single morning. It just, I feel like this is my punishment for trusting God, thinking for myself, leaving the world and coming to God's side. I guess this is my punishment. Oh God, my ear. A lot of the issues that I have are stress related. Headaches, migraines, stress related. TMJ, stress related. Muscle aches, body aches, stress related. Like, everything that I'm dealing with is stress related. And there's no pill for stress, right? Damn, I wish I would have made this alive. I feel like I probably would have got maybe a little more interaction if this was alive. Me posting this as a video may not even get pushed, but you know what? It's all good because at least I got this out. At least I got this out. Sometimes you just need to talk. Maybe next time I will do a live. I did not know where I was going with this, so that's why I did not do a live, but it's rough. It's rough. I know that mental illness is real. It very much so is. And like I said, we, especially in the Black community, and I've been told it's not just us, but we just don't like to talk about these things. We don't like to talk about these things. Like, do you know, well, when I was Facebook friends with my family, they used to always get mad when I would make mental health posts. Like, they always had something to say. Why you always posting your business? Why you putting this out there? They never wanted me to talk about it. And in my mind, I was like, I'm just trying to get help. They think that people do shit out of attention, and I'm sure some people do. But guess what? If I was doing this out of attention, I would have recorded myself at the ER yesterday. I would have recorded the way I was feeling yesterday. Like, if I was doing this for attention, I literally have meltdowns every day. I could make videos every single day if I was doing this for attention. Like, people, it's like they don't want you to better yourself. They want you to stay down. I also grew up in one of those families where they used to say, oh, that's just family. That's just her. That's just how she is. You just gotta love her for who she is. You gotta accept her the way she is. And I grew up in that environment, in that family. And even though in my mind I kept saying, that's not right. I kept saying that's not right. But nobody ever said, Arailyus, it's okay. Y'all leave Arailyus alone. The people that did come along that, you know, I thought were my friends and all this whatever, they literally end up not being my friends. Again, when you have a good heart, you are a gullible person and you do things out of the kindness of your heart. and people, they prey on it and they take advantage of that. They only contact you when they need you. You reaching out to them and they can't answer the phone, but as soon as they need you, they can answer the phone. They can pick up the phone and they can text and they can call, and you can be their favorite person because they need you. But then when they don't need you no more, you don't hear from them. And then when you got an issue and you need to talk, I'll call you back. Can we just text? Or just no response at all. I've been through it all. I literally feel like I've been through it all when it comes to people. And again, that's another part of me being woke or free thinking or whatever we want to call it. I'm now speaking up for myself. I'm now talking shit. Cash money shit too. I talk shit all the time, right? And of course, people are not used to that, and who she thinks she is and what she got going on, what the fuck ever. I don't care at this point, right? But child, it's a lot, because Arailyus, or I put it this way, my mom named me Arailyus, my dad named me Red. I act more like my dad's family. So Arailyus was sweet, docile, quiet. This ain't that. Let people use her, take advantage, all that or whatever, right? Red. That bitch said, square up. We fighting. She fighting, right? That Red, yeah. I feel like my daddy. I feel like my daddy now. And I love it. I love it here. Because I stand up for myself. I talk shit. I let people know you're not going to play in my face. Like, I call them like maybe little Kanye rants. Like, just calling people out. Like, little shit like this, right, y'all? This pissed me off. People, your family will do you wrong, right? And what do people say? That's your family. You can't just cut them off. But they didn't give a fuck that I was family when they did what they did to me. Right? Stupid shit like that. Stupid shit like that. But now that I'm speaking up for myself, all of a sudden my body is breaking down. All of a sudden I get migraines every day. All of a sudden I got this pain that go all across here. It hurt under here. Like, all of a sudden I get muscle spasms. My back gets stiff. My neck is, all of a sudden all these issues are happening. And again, I feel like this is my punishment for becoming woke, I guess. But I'm a free thinker, and I love it here. People have said for years, do your own research. Do your own research. And I'm here to let you know, when you do your own research, you find out some shit that you've been thinking, believing your whole life, and you find out that ain't even true. That ain't even what it is. You do shit because that's what you heard people do. That's what you heard people say. Oh, you supposed to do that. And you find out, girl, you ain't even supposed to do it. Did you know we've been doing, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and that's why my approach to mental health and my mental illness is different. I don't want to be on medicine. I don't. Is it hard? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. That shit is very hard. Very hard. Whew, it's hard. But I don't want medicine. I feel better not being on medicine. Even with all this that I'm dealing with, I don't want to be on medicine. I don't. Yeah, I most definitely should have made this alive. Ain't nobody gonna watch this. I'm gonna go on and post this. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can repost this as alive. I don't know. I'm gonna see. I don't think nobody gonna watch this if I post it as a video. But I'm Arailyus, socially awkward creative. I hope I made my point. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Well, yeah. It's rough. Don't let nobody tell you that it ain't. Don't let nobody make you feel bad for feeling bad. Don't let nobody make you feel bad for not wanting to be around nobody, not wanting to talk to nobody, disconnecting from people, cutting people off. Don't let nobody make you feel bad for that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, people gonna always do what's best for them. They can try to make you feel bad. Oh, you didn't reach out to me and this and that. Little baby. At the end of the day, I'm focusing on me. Most of the world, the people, the world is, social media is a huge competition. Just a huge popularity, financial, who got the most, who got the best, who doing it. The world has turned into a competition. And I got caught up in it too. I ain't gonna lie. I got caught up in it too, yes. But, I'm a free thinker now. As much as I love creating content, as much as I love making YouTube videos, I feel like I shouldn't be pressured to post every single day. I should not be pressured to constantly post just to try to make it into the algorithm. Like, I feel like that's what they want us to believe, that you gotta grind all the time. And don't get me wrong, I understand. You better not get up there. I understand that you do got to put in the work to get the results. I get that. I'm not looking for a shortcut. That's not what I'm saying. All I know is the stress that come on. Y'all, please tell Andre hey. Please say hey, Andre. Go on and look at the camera. Stop acting like you don't want the attention. Say hey, y'all. Say hey, y'all. Please tell Andre hey, y'all. Please. Vixen was nothing like this. Vixen, sis be in her own little world. She don't even let me hold her no more. Vixen, she a big girl now. She ain't stemming. But this little man, he think he my man for real. Look at him like I ain't in the camera. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna go. Like I said, if you see this again as a live, don't be shocked. I'm finna try to figure out how to post this as a live, because I already know if I post this as a video, ain't nobody gonna watch this. This is not gonna get pushed. So, thank y'all for watching. I'm Arailyus, socially awkward creative. Like, comment, subscribe, share.